The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a very special guest making his maybe 10th appearance on the show, Dan Beaulieu.
Hey, Leo.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while either.
I know, it's been a while, and I think the last time I was on was December 2020.
Yep.
So it's been a little while.
It's been a while.
So when you asked me, I said, I'm there.
Nice. I ran into Brandon the other day, and he's like, dude, I haven't been on in so long, so I got to send him some dates, too.
Actually, I had Brandon on the show, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, good catching up with him.
So let's get right into it. We're going to talk all about WrestleMania weekend. I think that's and if we run out of time, if we run out of that, we'll just talk wrestling.
Sure.
But the night that it started off Friday night with the Hall of Fame. I thought it was really good. There wasn't as many people being inducted this year. There was, 4?
You got the Steiners, Vader, Sharmell, Taker, and then the Shad Gasper getting the
Yes,
Warrior
that's
Award.
right. A Warrior Award, which was definitely given to the right guy.
Oh, without question, yeah.
His wife's speech I thought was great. I was surprised the kid didn't speak. I really was. Obviously he must have been nervous. He's a kid. But I was kind of surprised he didn't say something.
Yeah, I got to say this Hall of Fame was probably the most emotional one that I've ever watched, because you started off with the Steiners. You never thought Scott Steiner would ever be allowed
have a live mic.
But obviously, with people having health issues like Triple H and stuff, I think it's time to let bygones be bygones. But
absolutely.
When the Steiners were up there and Rick starts talking about how I want to thank my brother, that gets me thinking, I have 3 brothers, and it gets me thinking like, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Sharmell gave a good speech.
Yeah, and people gave her crap that she was in there. It's not a real Hall of Fame, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought, whatever. That's the way I looked at it, whatever.
I thought her run was too short to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like, I thought what Sharmell did was great. I just would have liked a larger body of work to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But then they did the, Shad Gasper.
That was very emotional.
I got choked up during the video package.
Yep, me
when
too.
his son did the handshake with JTG, I'm
cool.
like, I'm losing it. And then the wife, obviously.
What a great speech.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
And then you go into Vader's son, who said, my dad should have been the Dad Hall of Fame and I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing to me tonight?
His speech was really good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, how good it was.
They were fantastic. And then obviously The Undertaker with the greatest speech in the history of the Hall of Fame. It was unbelievable.
I couldn't believe when he walked by this stuff and he stopped and he puts it on.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's he doing? And then everybody thought he was going to be the one to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was pretty crafty.
I can't wait to get to that.
Yeah.
But we're going to wait.
I will say, like I said, Taker, at one point it felt like he was Tony Robbins, where he's like, all right, I'm going to tell you the 3 mental breakdowns here, how you can succeed in life. I always said it, but man, what a great speech. And he had me hooked the whole time.
Me too. Hanging on every word. So. How could you not? It's the friggin' Undertaker. The greatest character in WWE history. Character. Oh. No one can come close to that. No one.
If you want to talk about deserving of the Hall of Fame, 30-year career, everything that he did, even as he got older, but he'd come back for WrestleMania and give you these matches that were unbelievable.
Incredible.
No one deserves the Hall of Fame more than him.
No doubt. I loved it. And I hung on every word, and it was just amazing. And a lot of people don't realize that most people laughed about that, the Undertaker gimmick, that it had a shelf life of a couple of years. And then he made it longer than the shelf life, and then he kept evolving with the American Badass, the biker thing, everything that he did.
The corporate ministry stuff.
And then he went back to the gray and purple.
Yeah.
But just incredible. And like you said, nobody deserves it more. Maybe Owen Hart.
Yeah,
that'd probably be the only one that I'd say, that's right up there.
That's not in for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but I would put Undertaker in a whole nother. That's why they gave him more time than they've ever given anybody, because, there was a lot of people that were like, it should just be the Undertaker.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that.
And I said, well, I don't feel that way because you do see guys like Vader who didn't get to live to see it.
Right.
You don't know when some of these guys can go.
Exactly.
And they deserve their moment.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, Ivan Koloff's still not in there, and I mean, he was the WWF World Champion.
Yep.
You know, and he's still not in there. He passed away a few years ago, so even if he got in there now, it's it's a little late for him to be able to get in there and do it. But let's get into Stand and Deliver, which was Saturday afternoon at noon. You said you didn't get to watch much.
I saw a little bit of the ladder match. It was my brother's birthday. My niece had a recital.
Yep.
I'm not used to pay-per-views at 1 o'clock in the,
Nobody is, I
in the
know.
afternoon.
I was excited for it because I wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? I was.
I mean, I had to fly. Like, we were out all day. I had to
Yeah.
fly to get home, get to my buddy's place for WrestleMania. But I will say what I really liked, that's probably the largest crowd that Christian Casanova, Carmelo Hayes has ever probably worked in front of.
No doubt.
And they were hot for him.
They were hot for him. You're right. Big time. And that was a great match. But before that, they had the, in the pre-show, they had the NXT Women's Tag Team title match with Toxic Attraction defending their belts versus Raquel Gonzalez, the newly formed again. They just got back together.
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. And we got new champs.
Yeah. I would have kept it where it was. I think Toxic.
I wanted them to keep it because I told you off air, I'm a big fan of Gigi Dolan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see more of Toxic Attraction.
I think we'll see more. Maybe they'll be the ones called up.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Because we're going to talk about that guy who we think might get called up later. But after that was the very opening of the show. The NXT ladder match for the North American title as Carmelo Hayes defended it against Santos Escobar, Solo Sikoa,
Yep, I believe.
Grayson Waller, who obviously is doing a good job because I hate him.
I love him.
You know what? I just hate him.
Yeah.
That means he's doing a great job. And Cameron Grimes, who the only time I ever root against him if he wrestles Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
I love Cameron Grimes. And we got a new champ there too, as Cameron Grimes won the title for his father who had passed away.
Okay.
And he took it to the moon. I love that little catchphrase.
His voice cracks me up. He's great. I at this point, I mean, I guess I'm biased because I always want Carmelo Hayes to win. But I will say, like, I've cooled off on Cameron Grimes a little bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully this can kind of pull him back up.
Right.
I did think the stuff he was doing with LA Knight was hilarious.
Yeah, it really was.
You know.
And I love they gave him money, and all of a sudden he's this hillbilly with cash. I mean, and a great character. They kind of gotten away from the character, it seems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I thought that character could have been around for 20 years. You know what I mean? We don't really have any hillbillies anymore.
No, I like him.
I like him too. All right. So unfortunately, one of our favorite wrestlers lost the title, but he ain't going nowhere. He's going to regain that title if he doesn't go and take the NXT Heavyweight Championship.
I wonder
eventually.
if that's the next step.
I hope so. I really think he's, like you said, the biggest crowd he's ever performed in front of, and he nailed it, and they were hot for him.
Yeah.
Very hot for him.
I mean, he's gotten over really well. Big shout out to Royce Bishop, Anthony Brogna.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, Anthony was on.
In the barbershop.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That was super cool.
Yeah, very cool. Now, where did they shoot that? Do you know?
I didn't ask him. I'm guessing he flew to Florida to do that.
Right. That was pretty cool, though. I had to rewind it to make sure it was him. Because I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, he had posted, he said, hey, be on the lookout. So I saw it, I took a picture, I sent him a message. He's a regular on a lot of my virtual episodes.
Oh,
He's
cool.
a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy. I love Anthony. Up next was another local guy, Tommaso Ciampa versus Tony D'Angelo. And unfortunately, another one of our favorites from New England lost. D'Angelo, what do you think about Tony D'Angelo, though? I thought it was a good match.
I like him. And I think he has an amateur wrestling background. Which
really?
I'm always a little biased to those guys.
Right.
Very good. It is time for Tommaso to move on.
Right.
In my whatever that looks like, whether
Right.
that's backstage or I'd like to see him on the main roster.
Right.
At
Now-
least one run on the main roster.
Who was the guy with him now? Tony D'Angelo had a guy with him.
I missed
I know
it.
you didn't
Yeah.
see it, but so he hasn't had anybody with him before, right?
Not that I had noticed.
Okay,
no.
it was definitely an Italian dude, you know. They pulled up in the car, left the car running.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see a valet guy show up.
They're giving everybody like a running mate.
Yeah.
Because Grayson Waller's a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Carmelo already has Trick.
Yeah. And he's bout about it.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know if he's bout about it anymore.
he's a great hype man.
Yeah.
He really is. He's good in that role. I wonder what's going to happen with that.
Well, I told Maria about that. I said, see that guy right there? I said, eventually, wait till you see when Carmelo gets to turn face, because there's no way it's going to be Trick that's going to be the face. Because he'll play the jealous role, attack him, and hopefully turn Carmelo face down the line.
Yeah, at some point. I mean, I like him as a hero.
I love them together right now. But I remember before we used to always say we'd love for the whole Killer Nova group to move up together.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
It's weird they keep pairing people together because these guys can talk. Grayson Waller can talk. Carmelo can talk. D'Angelo can talk. So it's like they don't need the mouthpiece. But Trick and Carmelo together are pretty good.
No, they had great chemistry right off the bat. You could tell. You know, the first time they were on screen together, that they were having a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
you know,
I really dig that.
Yeah, me too. All right, and then after that, like you said, you didn't see it, so I don't know if anybody told you.
I know
this.
a lot of things.
Well,
so.
Triple H came out.
Yes, that was
And
another
he gave-
emotional moment.
Yes, gave Tommaso a huge hug. You know, there's no doubt Tommaso was his biggest piece when Triple H was building that company.
Yeah.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest piece.
Yeah.
You know, him and Gargano were huge in building NXT.
Very big.
And a lot of the guys were there too, but I'm just saying, like, when, near the end, when AEW came, you know, and kind of they went head to head, Tommaso, Gargano, those guys were leading the NXT roster.
Yeah, no, I think he's always like Ciampa, and there's some history there. Both New England guys, they both kind of went through. If I'm correct on this, I know there's a lot of people in the independents that watch this show.
Right.
I believe I've had Chase Del Monte on my show, and he
Yep.
said the lineage from Killer Kowalski is sort of tied with the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. There's
Well, yeah, because Mike Hollow was with Killer,
Yeah.
and then Killer went over there to take over the Chaotic School or something like that, or Mike broke away from Killer. So it's definitely a lineage in there, yes.
They're kind of from the same. They're
Right.
definitely in the same area.
Yes.
Kind of in the way you look at the same wrestling school.
Yep, absolutely.
So, amazing stuff.
Yeah, big time. And then we'll talk about Triple H came out a couple times over the weekend. And then they had the three-way for the NXT Tag Team titles as the Champs Imperium put the titles on the line against MSK and the Creed Brothers. And I thought the Creed Brothers were going to win. I
love
just
the
did.
Creed Brothers. I love them.
Do you know who won? Just
I do not know.
okay.
them.
MSK won. Yeah. And I'm surprised because I will say this. All I'm saying is I read this online. I'm not, you know, there's been some allegations called out about Nash Carter with his wife
Oh, really?
of abuse. That's why I'm surprised they gave him the belts.
Well-
just because of the allegations.
I will say this. I mean, MSK, they were getting basically trolled at NXT because of that one family that didn't like them.
Yeah.
Because it's all the same fans pretty much every week.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know what the allegations are, and that's the first I'm hearing of it.
I really loved them until they started doing them vignettes where they ended up
The Shaman.
Dude, they looked like goofballs and immature, and I'm just saying that's my opinion in the vignettes. I was turned off of them, I was very high on them before. I just didn't think the vignettes did them any favors, honestly.
I'm not really a big fan of theirs. I heard the Shaman was actually supposed to be Jeff Hardy originally.
Okay.
But
Which would have made sense in a way because he's older, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're still very young.
I can't remember the timeline, but I think that's when Jeff had the issues and left. Because then the Shaman turned out to be Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
MSK, they don't do a lot for me. I do remember they had that cool move where he did like the moonsault in TNA and he pushed him.
I like that move.
That was really cool, but they're not somebody that I'm like, you're going to get me to tune into NXT for.
Right. I like them. I think they're good wrestlers, but I love the Creed Brothers, like you
Love
said.
the Creed Brothers.
And Imperium's a hell of a tag team.
Yeah.
So we'll talk. I have a feeling we'll be talking about them in a little later. Then they had the Fatal 4-Way NXT Women's title match. And with the titles being changed earlier, I really thought it was going to change.
Yeah.
But Mandy Rose ended up beating Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray, and Io Shirai. And I was surprised.
It's the right move. She's more entertaining than all of them.
She's really come a long way. Since she came down to NXT, she's like before I looked at her as a woman trying to play wrestler. I look at her now as a professional wrestler.
I like hearing her talk too.
Yeah?
She's a good
And
talker.
she's easy on the eyes.
Yeah, well, that goes. She's always been that.
Yes. But and she's really come a long way. She's actually a really good wrestler, I think.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
All right. So then this is what I don't understand. This guy loses every match. Every match. As Gunther beat LA Knight. I love LA Knight. But he loses all the time. I don't think he needs. Obviously, he doesn't need it because he's over anyways, and he's got that great personality.
I feel like he's becoming what Chris Hero kind of was in NXT, where if you remember they did the new school versus the old school NXT, and everybody's like, why is Drake Maverick or LA Knight on old school? I'm like, because he's a veteran wrestler.
Right.
People know who he is. They've known him for years, so they just put him with that team. I think he's kind of there to help get other people over.
Well, he's definitely doing it. I think he's doing it because he's a great worker.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, all his matches are great, but he loses them all.
Yeah, that's a guy that, he's getting up there in age. Get him on the main roster. I don't think he needs to keep being. I'd love to see these rosters get shooken up.
Oh, yeah, me too. Absolutely. All right, so then we had the main event. We had defending the NXT title, Dolph Ziggler, as he pins Braun Breaker. I kind of seen that coming. I didn't see Braun coming back and regaining the title. You know what I mean?
I just assumed he would, but now this tells me he's going to be skyrocketed. Push
Right.
Braun Breaker, I just will say, I got the Braun Breaker t-shirt. Probably him and Carmelo Hayes are the main reasons I tune into NXT. I love Braun Breaker.
Me too.
Push him to the moon. I'd love that he be the guy that finally beats Roman Reigns.
That would be pretty cool.
You know.
Probably be at least a year away. I mean, you'd have to give him a good, he's still a little green.
He is, but
he's good.
I've seen other people get pushed that were a
Oh,
little
no
green.
doubt. I mean,
Look
look at Kofi. Kofi was, by the time he started wrestling, 2 years, he was in the WWE. It was crazy.
I'm not saying Braun Breaker's Brock Lesnar, but look
Right.
at Brock Lesnar in that first year on the main, because he was in OVW. He
Right.
wasn't there all that long. And man, the crowd was behind him so quick.
Big time.
Can this happen with Braun Breaker? I'd like to stop seeing Breaker lose matches
Yes.
in NXT because now that is a nationally televised show.
Yep.
People are seeing these losses. I want to see him on the main roster just kicking people's butts and skyrocket him.
That would be really, really cool.
And the other thing we're talking about on another show, there's a couple of shows I go on, is that now everybody knows he's the Steiner's kid.
Right.
Because some people probably didn't know that.
Right, because of the name.
The Hall of Fame now, everybody knows who he is.
Yep.
So
Time to change his name.
I agree. Change the name
Yeah.
or whatever, but get him on the main roster.
What they were calling him before? Rex
Steiner
Steiner,
or
but because his last name is really Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it's
Yeah.
it's very weird. It sounds like Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
That's their real last name. All right, so how about we go to Saturday night, night one of WrestleMania.
Wow.
They open the show with the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line as the champs. The Usos took on Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, and there was a big injury in that match.
I really like Rick Boogs.
Me too.
I really like him with Shinsuke. Love the Mike's Hard Lemonade commercials they're doing, and they came out in the gear. Good way to start. Good way to start WrestleMania. It wasn't a match I was really, really looking forward to, so I liked where it fell on the card. Ease us into the show.
Right, and the Usos are fantastic. They have been for years now. Then we had Drew McIntyre and his big giant sword that he doesn't need because he was over before they gave him the sword.
Vince loves that sword. That's Vince's sword.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
No wonder why he lets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he didn't need one. It was just the weirdest thing. You got a guy that's like became your champion, all of a sudden you give him something. Usually you give people something to help them get over better. But
Is McIntyre going to actually murder somebody on television?
I don't know, but he sure did cut those ropes pretty easy.
Yeah.
That thing had to be sharp, that's for sure. I mean, he went right through those ropes.
Yeah.
But he defeated Happy Corbin,
Yeah.
who I'm starting to like again. I had a hard time with him for a while with that Madcap Moss guy.
Yeah.
But he's starting to grow on me too. I'm starting to enjoy the guy that when he first came on with him, I was shutting it off, dude. Or I was fast forwarding. I really couldn't watch it.
You've never been huge on Corbin. I wanted there to be like 3 Claymores in that match. Someone pointed out to me, they're like, he kicked out of End of Days.
No one's ever done that.
No, and I said, I was on Coming Down the Aisle, Mike DiStefano's show. And I said, I didn't know. I said, I guess I don't care enough about Baron Corbin to know that statistic, So But I liked when he cut the ropes. I liked that Drew won.
Yeah.
He's a star.
Me too. And it's just still such a shame that he didn't get to win that championship in front of fans, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that really stinks for him.
Yeah.
But he's still around. He's still one of the best wrestlers. He's still got that size. So there's always still an opportunity for him to become the champ again, for sure. Then we had the Mysterios versus the Miz and Logan Paul.
Yeah, it was fun.
And if it wasn't for the guy on night 2, I'd say one of the best showings of Saturday night was Logan Paul. Not a fan of him. All right, I'm not. But wow, he did a hell of a job, Dan.
Yeah, he did Three Amigos. He did the little thing to Eddie. And
I was screaming at I was so mad when he did the Three Amigos and that. Oh, I was pissed.
That was instant heat. I love Miz turning on him at the end.
Yeah.
Split the Mysterios. I'd like to see Dominic turn on Ray and say,
Really?
You're not my real dad, Eddie Guerrero is.
Oh!
He dressed like Eddie.
Yeah, he did.
That's his real father in the storyline.
Eddie and I found out it was a mixture of both of them, the Love Machines.
Got it.
There was a great tag team, I guess, that Dominic loved when he was like 2 years old.
I mean, they never resolved that storyline back in 2005. Eddie, in the story, is actually Dominic's dad.
That's what he said.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
But no, really, though, it was a good match. I was very surprised. Logan Paul did a hell of a job. He really did. Yeah, I didn't expect him to do that good. I didn't expect him to be in the ring as much as he was either.
As much as I hate the Paul brothers, they're very athletic guys.
Absolutely.
His brother needs to fight a real boxer.
Oh, yeah. Enough of this, Either he needs to fight a real boxer, or you want to fight an MMA guy, take the gloves off and go in the octagon.
Yeah, I would never pay to see him fight anybody until he's beaten somebody legit.
Right. But very, very entertaining. Great match. I thought it was really good. Very surprisingly good, I should say. And then when Miz turned him, I didn't even see it. I had to rewind it after. I had walked out in the kitchen because the match was over. Yeah. All of a sudden, I come back, and the Miz is laughing at him, and Logan's on the ground. And Maria's the one that told me. She goes, yeah, the Miz just attacked his tag team partner. I'm like, what?
Yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, and then he jumped in the crowd. The guy that he jumped on, that's from Miz used to be Miz on the Real World.
Yeah.
That guy is from either Real World or Road Rules. They used to do the challenges.
Oh, okay, yes, I remember the Road Rules.
That was not a regular fan. That is a friend of the Miz. So I just wanted to point that out because they're like, yeah, even like he jumped into the fans. I'm like, no, that's
he jumped into his buddy.
Yeah.
Nice. I did not know that. All right. So then Stephanie McMahon comes out.
Yeah.
And she introduces the next big superstar of the WWE, Gable Stevenson. 2-time NCAA champ. I didn't know what he looked like at all because they haven't shown him. I knew he got signed by them, but I never went and looked what he looked like. Good sized guy. Great wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, Gable Stevenson, he didn't need to go back and win another NCAA championship. I mean, once you win the Olympics, I mean, I don't know what else you can do.
Exactly.
I did watch his Olympic match. Unbelievable.
Did you? Yeah.
I love the NBA. I have a wrestling background,
that.
So, I mean, I don't always follow the Olympics hardcore, but I do like to watch the NCAA finals when they're on ESPN.
Right.
I think this kid's going to be, we're going to see. I mean, he's got the look.
He definitely has a look, good size.
So, good signing.
Yes, I think so too. And then we had the Raw Women's Championship as Becky Lynch was defending her title against Bianca Belair. And we got a new champ then.
Yeah, it was tough. We do a pick'em league every year. This was tough because Bianca got the advantage on Raw. She cut Becky's hair, so makes you start to go, okay, now Becky's going to get she's going to get the win. Bianca needed this win because she got squashed as a babyface at SummerSlam, which still I couldn't believe. I'm happy for Bianca Belair.
Me too, and she's a hell of a talent. Yeah. I was hoping she used her hair, though, and she did. I tell Maria how she had used her hair before, and she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's like a whip.
Yeah, we come to the conclusion that the hair is fake now.
Oh, what?
It
is fake.
Go on her
I thought it was real.
Well, I think it might have been at one point, and so we're I'm like, yeah, it is. And then I started thinking about pictures I saw on Instagram.
Right.
So I went on her Instagram and I go, wait a second, this is impossible.
Right.
She can't have that much hair with the hair that she has in her pictures. So I do, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Maybe that's why she didn't use it as a whip. Maybe, like you said, maybe it was real before and she used it because nothing would fall apart.
I mean, there's a picture of her on the beach with her husband, I can't think of his name.
Angelo Dawkins
And
Wow.
the one I like better.
Yeah,
I'm
and I can't
blanking.
think of his name either.
Montez Ford.
Yes.
He's holding her up. You can see her hair. I go, wait a second.
I got to find this
You know,
picture.
so, yeah, I'm not buying the hair anymore.
Right. All right. Now I'll have to let Maria know because she said to me that that's not her real hair. That she was adamant
Well,
about it
my
too.
buddy Tyler's wife, when we were watching it, said the same thing. And I said, no, it is. But then I was like, wait a second. I've seen some pictures on Instagram
Right.
that makes me question that. And I pulled up the pictures and go, I think you're right. You know, so.
Yep. Maria knew too.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we had Seth Rollins in the ring, waiting for his mystery opponent.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying after the Undertaker did that at the Hall of Fame, and he said never say never. People were like, oh, it could be the Undertaker, but it was who everybody really expected, coming over from AEW, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, that wait, I was nervous. We're all standing
Right.
because I wanted it to be Cody so bad. But then I started going, maybe it's Taker. When the lights went on, I went, and people started putting their cameras up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go, oh, the Fiend's back. That's what I started to think.
Right.
And then when it said, there's more than one wrestling fan, whatever it
Yep,
says at the
yep.
beginning, we went. Bobby has a reaction. He was like filming the reaction
Nice.
video. We all ordered a Cody Rhodes shirt
Did
because
you
they were
really, huh?
available. They were available on WWE.com.
Is that why he went on Twitter and said thanks for buying all the shirts? Not,
Yeah.
if all of you guys did, I'm sure a lot more
Everybody
people
at
did.
our WrestleMania party jumped on and bought a shirt.
Wow, that's cool.
Cody's come home. Very happy for him. I have a lot of strong opinions on
Yep.
what happened with AEW. Tony Khan. There's no AEW without Cody.
He was one of the ones to start it. You're right.
It was his idea.
Right.
This is going to probably piss people off.
Piss him off.
I love AEW.
Yeah.
But there is a part of that fan base that is so toxic.
Yes.
They're so angry with WWE that AEW can never do anything
Right.
wrong. Nothing.
Right.
And it's like today, I saw people on the internet burning Cody Rhodes shirts. Now it's Cody's overrated. He was
Of
never
course,
that
he was
good.
great though before.
And I sit here and go, he's the one that came up with All In. There's no AEW without him. Tony Khan, whatever Cody wanted, I think he should have given him.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And
Right.
he left. And
Right.
now it's like, all Cody cares about it. It's all about them. I'm like, he's a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best in the world.
Right.
He knows his worth. That's on Tony Khan.
Right.
And I wish that toxic AEW fan base will just admit when Tony Khan's wrong.
But they never will because they're sore sports. And so many people were on Facebook saying, Cody made the wrong decision. It's Cody's decision.
Yeah.
It's not yours. You know what I mean?
And I love everybody going, he'll be Stardust in a month. He'll be in catering in a month.
Nope.
Stop it.
That ain't happening.
He's brought in all his own stuff. He got to bring in the music that he owns, his
right.
logo.
The American Nightmare.
Did Drew McIntyre go to catering? Did Bobby Lashley go to catering? How many guys have returned to WWE and been pushed to the WWE title?
Right.
Jinder Mahal won the WWE title. So
Right.
I love AEW.
The only Saudi type of guy that's been any good in wrestling.
I love AEW.
Yep.
I am sick of the hardcore fan base of that wrestling promotion.
They're not real
obnoxious.
wrestling fans. They are the Young Bucks, the Cucamonga Kids, the Hardly List Boys. I'm sorry, but you know how I feel about the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
They've been doing nothing but bringing FTR down. They won't give him the win back. You know what I mean? I'm not fans. I mean, lately, the last year or so is making me seem right by not liking the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and I don't, I don't dislike the Young Bucks, but if the Young Bucks hit 300 super kicks in a match, they would be like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen."
Of course.
That fan base is just too much to deal
But
with.
if somebody in the WWE did that, that'd be too many.
Yeah, and I get that people became disillusioned with the WWE. They're like, WWE is very structured differently. Yes, Raw and SmackDown are not going to knock it out of the park every week.
No.
And they're filming more television. AEW has a good show every
Yeah,
week.
they
but
do.
it doesn't mean that every decision Tony Khan makes is right.
Of course not. No one's
Yeah.
ever made all the right decisions. You're right on that.
It's insane. So now it's Cody's overrated. Cody had nothing to do with AEW. Stop it.
Yeah, some girl made a post and I commented on it and said, I'm sorry, but that's a dumb post.
Yeah.
You know, to sit there and go, he made the wrong decision. It's not up to them to say what decision he made was right or wrong. Just like it's not up to me to go, because I think and you think he made the right decision.
Yeah,
but it's not my choice to sit there and go, Cody made the right decision. That's all Cody needs to know is if he made the right decision.
Just had a daughter. He's going to be a producer on the Dusty Rhodes documentary on A&E.
Which I bet you means the world to him.
Okay, and he wants to be WWE champion.
And he will be.
And yeah, so I don't want
I really do think he will be.
So to all these people dogging, Cody will be off TV or Cody's going to be. What also drives me nuts, I'm sorry, I'm going on this tangent.
Please,
because
please.
it's like,
because you have great opinions, man.
As someone that approves a lot of posts on the Nerds of Wrestling, I see a lot of this.
Right.
Cody's career in WWE was not that bad. Okay, they kept Stardust on him too long, and he got sick of it.
Right.
And that's why he left. But let's not pretend like the rest of his career in WWE, he was in catering or was buried all the time. That's crap.
That thing with him, Ted DiBiase, and Randy Orton, what were they called?
Legacy.
Incredible. That was some great stuff.
Dashing Cody Rhodes, the tag match with his brother to save Dusty's career. And there was a lot of great moments. The Stardust thing went on too long, and I get where Cody was coming from.
Right.
And he left and said, I'm going to be my own character and show what I can do. And he's done it. So to all the toxic AEW fans out there, I'm tired of it.
I'm tired of it too. And you're speaking the truth though. It really is ridiculous, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, when Cody was leaving the WWE, I wasn't very high on him. A lot of people said, oh, they didn't give him a chance. And I'm like, he was there for 7 years. He had a chance. But now that I've seen, he's used those years as experience. He got, after he left and became a top guy at Ring of Honor and then at AEW, he's proven to a guy like me who thought maybe he's a little overrated, that he's not overrated. And you should have heard me cheering for Cody Rhodes the other night. And I kept telling Maria, he better win this match. You can't bring this guy here to make him lose. He needed that win in his first match back in the WWE.
I think he's going to have a little creative control too.
Well, that's good. They gave him some already, like you said.
It's all his. That's his. He owns that logo. He owns that music.
Yep.
I'm excited. I can't wait for Raw tonight.
I couldn't believe when I saw the logo come up. Maria's like, well, who is it? I'm like, it's the American Nightmare. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So I was very excited, very happy, glad that Rollins put him over. You know what I mean? From what I hear, there was no problems about putting him over.
No, I don't think Rollins has ever had a problem putting anybody over.
That's great. All right. So that was really fun.
Welcome back to the big leagues.
Yeah, exactly. The big leagues. You're no longer working with the Cucamonga kids and the most overrated wrestler in the world. I'm sorry, Kenny Omega. I said it. I can name 10 guys in the WWE that are better than Kenny Omega. And if you think I'm lying, hit me up on Facebook and I'll name them for you. We're not going to do it during Dan's episode. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defended her title against Ronda Rousey. Now, just to go back, have you heard the news about Ronda being pissed?
But she's already tweeted and said, I'm tired of people making stuff up about me.
Well, I heard it was true. That she left the Hall of Fame because she wasn't going to be. I guess she thought that was going to be the main event, even though KO had been telling everybody the main event was the KO show with Austin.
Yeah, I felt bad for Charlotte and Ronda because where they fell on the card, the crowd was exhausted. They just had this great match. Cody Rhodes returned. Yeah. They didn't have a prayer to bring that audience in. I don't know if I believe it. I do believe that Ronda Rousey is a baby because I got to say, no other fighter. She was dominating the UFC before that division was ever established. Right. She loses and then goes like she couldn't believe she lost. How many UFC fighters lose fights and don't quit? Right. Not saying maybe she didn't want to do it anymore, but like she wasn't the center of attention, so she walked out. Yep. So some of it feels like it might be true. I'll give Ronda the benefit of the doubt. Right. She does have a newborn baby. And she's not a bad pro wrestler for someone that hadn't been a pro wrestler for years, you know? I mean, she's pretty good for her. And if you have to really think about it, she still would be green if she was like a real... She's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, all right, but Charlotte Flair won. I'm kind of glad that she won anyways. Never mind if Ronda did or did not. That has nothing to do with it. I'm a big Charlotte Flair fan.
I do think her ego gets the best of her sometimes too.
Sure. Yeah.
But I am a fan. All right. And then we had the KO show with this guest, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this turned into be one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Steve Austin had his first match in 19 years, and you wouldn't have known it.
Yeah, I mean, and that you could tell he was having fun. You could tell that KO, this is probably a dream come true for him.
Oh, definitely. You know that's his favorite wrestler.
You know, I mean, Stone Cold let him use the stunner. Austin did more than I thought he would do.
Me too.
You know, getting thrown on, getting
And he
slammed on the...
looked good, though, like size-wise, because I don't know about if you've seen him like 2 years ago, he was very on the thin side. You could tell he wasn't really working out hard at that time.
You can tell he's in good shape. Yeah, he did a lot of cool things, and it was unbelievable, and never thought I'd see it again. I think Stone Cold went, if Goldberg and Sting can go out and do these things, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Even
And
if it's
it was
one
with the
time.
right guy, a very safe wrestler,
Yeah.
KO. And like you said, it is his favorite wrestler. KO said it many times.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really cool. It was a great way to end night one.
it was so much fun. Night one was so much fun.
Definitely. And I thought night one was a better show. But whatever. I thought it was one of the better pay-per-views of all time,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Night two. It opens with the Raw Tag Team title match, three-way.
Yep.
Arcade Bro versus Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, I enjoyed the end. Like seeing Gable Steveson getting involved.
That was awesome.
Him and Chad Gable, two Olympians.
Shush.
Yeah,
That's the weirdest catchphrase I've ever heard, but it's over.
yeah,
He even has a T-shirt that says it.
yeah. Great tag teams there.
Yes. And Arcade Bro retained the titles. And then celebrated with the Street Profits.
Yep.
And didn't something else happen?
Chad Gable was found. That's when
Gable-
Stevenson
right.
got involved. So.
Yeah. And he suplexed him.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, they're going to have a good match when they do end up wrestling each other.
Oh yeah.
Chad Gable is an incredible wrestler. And I'm so glad to see him get the push that he's been getting.
Yeah.
And he's a tag team guy, and so was Otis, and they've really, really made a hell of a tag team.
Yeah, and they've been friends for a long time.
Yeah, I
so.
said I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then we had up the weirdest match of the night, in my opinion. Bobby Lash versus Almost, or as Jim Cornette calls him, Almost.
Yeah. I'm not high on Omos.
No.
I liked him with AJ.
Yes.
Don't really see him as a singles guy. I
Right.
see him as a bodyguard. I just assumed he'd beat Bobby, keep building him.
That's what I thought too. I was surprised when Lashley won, but I think it was the right choice. I mean, if Bobby Lashley would have lost to him, it would have really hurt his career, really bad.
Bobby Lashley's very, very valuable to that company.
He has been the last couple of years. That's for damn sure.
One of my favorite wrestlers right now.
Nice. Yep.
I think Bobby. I mean, I haven't done a top 25 in a long time. He might be edging into that top 25 of my
Nice.
all-time favorite wrestlers.
That's awesome,
So,
and he's deserving it because he's been killing it left and right. And I love the thing he had with MVP.
yep.
What's up with MVP? He hasn't been around. I haven't seen him in a while. Has he hurt or something?
Well,
because I heard he was coming back to wrestle, and I was
think
wondering if he
there
got
was
hurt.
there was something up, but obviously Lashley was off TV with an injury.
Right.
Now he's returned as a babyface. I'm
Yeah.
sure he will see MVP. So.
I hope so, because he's a very entertaining character. Then we had Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Now, very silly match,
Yes.
but I enjoyed it. I thought it was very funny. You know me, Dan. I just, whatever they show me, you just go with it. You know what I mean? And I thought it was funny. They didn't even show you that the big hand was there when he gets slapped with the hand.
It was Mark Henry's son, they were saying, and Mae Young's son, the hand. Mark Henry actually tweeted about it because people were tagging him in that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a riot. But Johnny Knoxville did pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know something? You knew that he probably was telling Sammy, don't worry if you hit me, don't worry about it. I do stupid things all the time. So
those
don't
guys-
hold back.
He kicked Wee Man right in the face,
He did. He went flying, and then he didn't know whether to leave the ring or not. He was on the apron. Then he got up, and then he jumped off because he thought he was gonna get kicked again.
Yeah, I think everything that Sammy and Johnny Knoxville have done together has been pretty fun.
So what do you think about Sammy? Because for a long time, he was one guy that I was like, man, he's just not getting it. You know what I mean? Like getting over as much. He's over now. Whether he's a bad guy, yes, but he's over.
Well, and he left during the COVID COVID stuff.
Right.
Ever since he's been back, I mean, that stuff he did with Brock that night on SmackDown was
That's some of the
hilarious.
best television I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think Sammy's great in the role he does, and people are like, "Well, a non-wrestler beat a wrestler." I'm like, yeah, with a mousetrap,
Yeah.
I don't think it was just fun. It was
Yeah,
fun.
I enjoyed it, and it's cool that Sammy was all for it. You know what I mean? Maybe if they do another Jackass movie, we'll see Sammy in it.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm sure they become friends.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get through some more of this. Fatal four-way for the Women's Tag Team Championship. The defending champs, Carmella and Queen Zelina versus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. And when did they become a tag team?
No,
I haven't watched SmackDown in a long time,
they're
to
on
be
Raw.
honest with you.
They're on Raw.
Oh, they're on Raw. Okay. No wonder I haven't seen them on SmackDown. Against Sasha Banks and Naomi, also versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler, who I think they're underusing her.
I would add Shayna versus
She's a
Ronda this year.
badass.
Yeah.
What would you, against Ronda?
Yeah.
That would be a hell of a match considering they're friends.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're going to work to that because I could easily see that happening down the line.
I mean, there was like an internet rumor that Shayna was released a couple weeks ago. I'm like, that.
That would be dumb. I'm sorry, but I think she's good. She's not the greatest talker,
Yeah.
but man, in that ring, she's really good. And she's been a lifelong wrestling fan her whole life.
She doesn't need to talk.
No.
She didn't need to talk tonight. Whatever.
Right.
It's frustrating with her.
You know what she'd look good in? The Diamond Mine.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. What do you think about those guys? We'll go to there real quick. What do you think about the Diamond Mine? You like Malcolm Bivens?
Yeah, I love the manager. Love the Creed brothers.
Yeah. Roderick.
Roderick Strong. I think he's going to be another guy that needs to move on at some point.
I guess he's been wrestling at NXT UK.
Oh, really?
So I guess he wants to win that title. That's what I read.
Yeah.
So,
surprised they still have NXT UK.
I know.
That was going to close down.
right? All right. So Sasha Banks and Naomi won. New champs. Next match, and I'm sure I thought this would have been hard to follow. AJ Styles versus Edge, which I thought would have been match of the night. Edge beats AJ. Great match, obviously. I mean, you got two of the best workers going. But then the next match was, in my opinion, the match of the night. Well, maybe the performer of the night. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory.
Yeah.
With Vince McMahon at ringside.
Yeah, I love the whole segment.
And McAfee beats Austin Theory beats McAfee.
No, McAfee beats Theory.
Oh, all right. And then he has a match with Vince. And it was what, about 8 minutes?
Something like that.
It was longer than you would have expected it to be.
I just want to say, and I was going back and forth with Maverick Wild on Facebook. This pissed him off.
Did it really?
He's pissed about this.
But look how good Vince looked, though. He didn't look that bad.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to see the post that.
I'll go look for who. Now, is it your post or his post?
His post. He's
Okay.
pissed about
Oh, man, I got to go read your stuff.
And then I said, yeah, I think he asked me how I was entertained by WrestleMania, and I was like, wait, we watched the same show?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Maverick Wild is pissed about this. Yeah.
But Pat McAfee did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Especially when he did the backflip off the top rope. Or was it, I think he was on the second rope, I think.
He might have been on the top.
He might have been on top. But then when he comes back and he's still sitting there, Austin Theory's still sitting there. And when he takes a little run and jumps straight to the top rope. Incredible, man. He's had, 4 matches now? 3 in the WWE, right?
He's faced Adam Cole. He was in War Games. He had this one. There might have been another one.
No, there's another one that he did 7 years ago in an independent company, years ago. I saw it on wrestling cage match, that thing. So, unbelievable for a guy that's only had a handful of matches.
Yeah, and I guess he was training before. So.
He should be a pro wrestler. He should put the microphone away. He can always go back he can always talk.
He's the best commentator in WWE.
No doubt, but he was the best wrestler in the ring on night 2.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, the whole segment was fun. Then Austin came out. Vince took the worst stunner ever.
Oh, yeah.
He's an old man, and he kicks him, and he just collapses, you know.
He never took a good stunner anyways. If you really look at most of the stunners, Vince didn't really take any of them great.
There's a video of Mick Foley just laughing his ass
I
off
bet.
When that happened. His son maybe was videotaping him, and he couldn't stop laughing. Yeah.
Mick is awesome. We were very surprised, as most people were, that he wasn't mentioned in the Undertaker speech. I don't think it was done on purpose. I just think.
I mean, the Undertaker had a lot of time. There's a lot of people that, unfortunately, maybe meant more to him, and he felt in his career than Mick Foley.
Yep. Well, I mean, he named all his BSK
Yeah.
group members. I mean, of course, those were his best friends. So of course he's going to
I
mention
mean,
them.
there was no mention of Austin, no mention of
Right.
Rock. Those were big.
Yeah.
No mention of Paul White,
Right.
the Big Show.
Yep.
So
Very strange.
Mick Foley getting thrown, and Mick Foley's like my number 2 favorite wrestler of all time. Foley getting thrown off the cell probably meant more to his career than the Undertaker's.
Right.
It wasn't something Undertaker really even wanted to do.
Right.
So
No, I'm sure, yeah. And I mean, it was just more Mick taking the jump. I mean, he just went through the motions. He didn't throw him off at all.
when you listen to the interviews, like Mick Foley came up with the idea, Taker was like, "I'm not doing that," and then he convinced him.
Wow.
So
And the worst bump was to come after. Because it looked way worse when he went through the cage.
and I think that one was the unintentional one.
Absolutely. Yes, that was definitely unintentional.
Yeah.
All right. So then we had the New Day taking on Sheamus and Ridge Holland. And I'm shocked that Sheamus and Ridge Holland beat them. I'm shocked.
Rich Holland should not be on TV.
He hurts people. He's not a very safe wrestler. We talked how Kevin Owens is safe.
Yeah.
He's a really safe wrestler.
I mean, you heard Randy Orton say in an interview, he goes, "These guys come out of NXT and don't know what the hell they're doing."
Yeah.
And for him to break Big E's neck and could have killed him to get a victory at WrestleMania, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So then they had a Hall of Fame segment like they do every year. They bring them out and stuff. And then we had, as they are proclaiming it is the greatest wrestling match in WrestleMania history. Right? Is that what they were saying?
Or the biggest main event because it was titled the 2 biggest titles.
Right. So we had the WWE champ Brock Lesnar versus the Universal champion Roman Reigns. And who did you think was going to win going in? Did you think Roman was going to win?
Yeah, I picked Brock Lesnar in the Pick'em League
Yeah.
because I needed points and I knew everybody was going to pick Roman. But I had a feeling Roman would win. I didn't think it'd come up so abruptly, and that was the end of WrestleMania.
I thought Brock was going to get the win only because remember all the other matches that had where Brock was losing. Brock lost a few matches already during the year, so I really didn't see that coming. I was surprised.
Roman's the most protected now.
And he's worth it. I mean, he's incredible. He's doing the best work of his career the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So that was WrestleMania. Good WWE wrestling weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And I'm sure all the AEW toxic fans watched it,
Yeah, and I know
even though they hate it.
I have some diehard AEW. We actually have this show on Friday nights I'm doing with a bunch of guys and nerds. Shout out to Kendall, Mike DiStefano, Josh Mears. These guys are all over the country.
Right, okay.
Josh in Delaware, Kendall's in Texas,
Okay.
Mike's in Arizona, Dylan Bracha, he's in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Kendall's show. It's called Wrestling Fans Unhinged, and we just argue with each other about wrestling-related stuff. And I saw Mike do a post saying, "This is already the worst WrestleMania ever." And I'm like, and Mike's diehard AEW.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Mike.
Yeah.
Are we watching the same show here? And I did go on his show the next day, and he kind of changed his tune a little bit. But, the only people I see dogging on Mania are these delusional AEW fans.
Yeah.
And I love AEW.
I hate it. Me too.
It's that
Me
fan
too.
base that makes it hard.
Yeah.
It's like they treat it like it's a sports team.
Right.
You know?
Like it's real.
Yeah, like
Like the Young Bucks would really beat up, let's say, RK Bro. Never happened in a million years.
Cody broke our hearts. How could you do this? How could you?
Cody made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Now we hate him.
I can't. They're wrestlers are independent contractors.
That's right.
But
They got to make the money.
and at the end of the day, there's no AEW without Cody. So
That's right.
be happy he did that.
Right.
He's so fake after all those years of talking down about WWE. I'm like, can you guys
Right.
I'm hearing this from people in their 30s and 40s. Like if I was a teenager, I might be saying something like
Right.
that. But come on, guys.
No, but like you said, Cody helped, bring AEW to fruition.
Yeah.
And then Tony buys Ring of Honor. What they say now for $40 million?
Well, geez.
Okay, if that's the truth, what kills me is though they say that the founder is Carrie Silken. That's a lie. Carrie Silken did not start Ring of Honor. Rob Feinstein, Doug Gentry, and Gabe Sapolsky started Ring of Honor. And then Carrie came in as somewhat of a money man after.
Well, I gotta say, Tony Khan signed Brian Malonis.
Please.
That's my
And
plug
some
there.
other local guys. Why not?
Yeah, it's gonna be curious what he does there.
I mean, you
but-
got guys like Daniel Garcia and Lee Moriarty. What about Alec Price?
yeah.
What about Nico Silva? Some good young Shannon Thomas. Those guys are all great.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to figure out. I mean, AEW's in the red right now.
Yes.
So you're buying a wrestling company, another wrestling company,
Right.
Yeah, I guess they have more money than God, but
Yeah, but they lost a lot of money this past year.
yeah.
I mean, they're paying out unbelievable.
I have to say, and we're getting arguments like this in our group chats. Tony Khan feels like Dixie Carter a little bit. He's starting to feel a little bit like Dixie Carter. And then people are like, the product's so much better. I'm like, there was times where TNA was very, very good.
Oh, they had a hell of a roster.
I mean,
you kidding me?
And they were on Spike TV, so they had a national TV deal. So
Absolutely.
Don't tell me that there's a huge difference between the two.
Right. They're
there's
both
not.
money marks.
Yeah.
That's how they came into the wrestling business. They're money marks.
I think Tony's probably more of a fan than Dixie was. But
Oh, there's no doubt. Because they say Tony's loved wrestling his whole life.
So, I mean, I think he pull himself out of it. It's just, again, the AEW fans, we're not going to
The
question
toxic
anything.
fans.
That's what I call them.
They are, though. All right. So I know you got a little something for me, so we're going to save some time for that. So let's just real quickly, after Mania, they always do call-ups.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you who I think. I just threw some names out there. Gunther and Imperium. I can see them being called up. Tommaso Ciampa, because it looks like his NXT career is over,
Yeah.
right? How about Phantasmo, Legando, whatever they're called, Santo Escobar, Joaquin Phoenix, and Raul Mendoza. I'd love to see them come up.
Sure.
I think they're all very talented. Obviously, Santos is the star of the three. So I'd like to see them stay together and up on the main roster.
Yeah,
I think
see
that
it.
could happen.
I could see it. You never know with these call-ups.
Right.
I mean, you feel like it's Braun Breaker and Tommaso right now, but they've thrown curveballs where you totally didn't expect it.
So I threw a curveball in there. I threw in Dexter Loomis and Indy Hartwell. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd be kind of happy to see Dexter up there. I love does not talk. I love that.
Yeah,
I really do.
he's really cool.
It's somebody different. It's something different. Remember when Elia was doing that?
Yeah.
And now he talks. I wish he would go back to that. No, I'm just kidding. He is the APW heavyweight champion right now. He's killing it right now. He really is.
Yeah, I gotta see one of those. I haven't been to really anything independent.
Yeah, me either. I just realized that Alec Price is going to be taking on AG at Cold Fury. We should go to that.
I would love to
We
go to
should
Cold
go to that.
Fury. I have the tough ruck the very next
Oh,
day,
you
so I'm
do?
gonna be in bed by about 8 o'clock.
I know that. Yeah. Too bad.
I feel it stinks. 'Cause I when I had Chase on the show, I said I'm gonna try to make more shows. It's just harder. I don't know what kind of happened after the pandemic. It's just not as easy to make these things.
Right.
You know?
But yeah, I think I'm going to go to that show. I haven't been to a chaotic show in a long time. I think I went to their first one when they came back, but I had to leave early because Isaiah was at his friend's house. I had to go pick him up. But all right, so do you have any names you wanted?
I mean, honestly, I just think Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Tommaso.
Tommaso. No one else is sticking out in my head, and like I said, I want to see Braun Breaker just skyrocket.
Right. Me too.
Like they did kind of skyrocket him in NXT, but I just think like the issue people are having, and this is, and in my opinion, what's created this toxic AEW fan base. On Dynamite, you get this different show every week. Raw and SmackDown, you get the very similar shows over and over, which has turned people away.
Right.
There needs to be a shakeup. You need to get, and a draft isn't going to do it.
Right.
You need new faces.
I think Nick Khan has said he doesn't like the draft. I don't know if we'll ever see a draft again. Yeah.
Really?
I've heard he said he thinks everyone should be on both shows. Yeah. Why put just, that he can't go over here? Roman Reigns should be everywhere. Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. Everyone should wrestle everywhere. That's what he thinks.
I mean, I like the two separate brands. I do.
Yep.
But the draft never makes sense. It's like you have the draft right before Survivor Series, and then you're like, it's for brand supremacy, and you're like, Drew McIntyre was on Raw like 3 weeks ago, and now he's fighting, saying like, I care so much about SmackDown. Like, it's like weird the timings of the drafts too.
Right.
But you need new faces. You need new faces on the main roster, and you need to give them time. Like, I mean, all the call-ups they did over the summer, Keith Lee, fail. Killer Cross or Karrion Cross fail.
Right. And I think they failed them, not the wrestlers. You know what I mean? I think the WWE failed them.
Could have been two very good mid-card
Keith was
wrestlers.
already over, and then Vince pulled him back. He was over. The fans were going crazy for him, and then they pulled it back. Karrion Cross never really got going on the main roster, but Keith got over like the first time he came on.
Yeah, I don't understand a lot of Vince has, and that's why I'm glad in a way. Triple H isn't really running NXT, to my understanding.
No,
you need one streamlined vision of
right.
Guys come from NXT to the main roster, and you're not changing them because you have a different vision than the other guy.
Right.
At least if you have one person making the decisions, those transitions should be smooth.
Right.
So hoping to see that. But I did want to give you this, Leo.
Guys, look at this.
This is a little frame picture. I signed it. My handwriting's terrible.
That's
but,
all right.
What that is this is the first time that I was on your show and the first time that you were on my show.
Wow, I'm looking old there, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm looking old. Hey, you're not supposed to agree.
But I also had another one, see if you could sign one for me as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I'll do it right after. I can do it. It'll be better if I do it off air after, because that way I can sit and all that. But thank you.
Yeah.
I will definitely sign that for you guys. Check that out.
And
this is very cool. This is the second gift Dan gave me, because he told me I'm the champion of the wrestling talk shows. You gave me an AEW belt.
Yeah.
And the toxic fans would be mad that you gave it to me, probably.
Well, and I gotta say, and I've said this many times on the show, there's no Let Freedom Ring without Leo. I never would have done a show. I don't think I'd ever have the courage to just go do that until I
Thanks,
started
man. I
coming
appreciate
here, so
that. And
I appreciate
it
that
was
a lot.
thanks to my nephew who introducing us,
Yeah.
Usually we don't thank Ricky that often. You know what I mean? He drives us crazy. No, we're just kidding. That's my nephew. He's 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
So, we've always been close, me and Ricky. I don't see him as much as I'd like to now, because, we're both.
I just saw him the other week. I was shocked.
I saw, you had a picture with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, we got to get a picture, Rich. It's been a long time.
He's awesome, man. I love him. He's getting married. Married again. Congratulations to my nephew. They get married in Vegas.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I wish I had the cash to go with him, because I'd love to go.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much, guys. Check that out. Let Freedom Ring, the ring and all other sports. Your first time you were on was what, 2019, 18?
18, yeah.
18.
It's probably 4 years, this week or next week, yeah.
I've been doing this 6 years now.
Yeah.
How many years? You've been doing 2, right? Or is it?
Yeah, we hit 2 this year.
Yeah, because you were going to have me on for you, and then I had to get stuck at work. Dan, thanks, man.
Hey, Leo, it's been awesome. Always good to see you.
You'll be on again. You know you will. Guys, that's it. Check it out. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.